Hi, this is Jaya. In this video, we shall see about semantics, pragmatics and discourse. Semantics is closely related to pragmatics and it also is related to meaning in a language. Discourse can be defined in three ways: language beyond the level of a sentence, language behaviors linked to social practices, and language as a system of thought. Discourse analysis aims to study and analyze the use of discourse. Now, when we take the definition of pragmatics, we can say it is a branch of linguistics concerned with the use of language, how we use a language. The term pragmatist was coined in the 1930s by the philosopher C.W. Morris. Pragmatist was developed as a subfield of linguistics in 1970s. Pragmatist defines the principles for the determination of the intended meaning. The main components of current pragmatic inquiry are dixis, implicature, speech acts, discourse structure, language understanding and competence, irony, types of metaphors, context, intention, agency, relation between utterance and sentence or speaker, meaning sentences or sentence meaning. Now, aspects of pragmatics are invisible meaning. Pragmatics is the study of meaning of words, phrases, and full sentences. Context. In pragmatics, two types of context can be differentiated: linguistic context and physical context. Linguistic context, also known as core text, is a set of words that surround the lexical item in question in the same phrase or sentence. The physical context is the location of a given word, the situation in which it is used, as well as timings. Dixis and reference. Words like there, that, it, or tomorrow are known as didactic expressions, and they are classified as person dixis, that is him, they, you. Spatial dixis, here, there, and temporal dixis, then, in an hour, tomorrow. However, in pragmatics, words do not refer to anything by themselves, and it is people who perform an act of identifying what the speaker meant, and this act is called as reference. Anaphora and presupposition. Anaphora is subsequent mentioning of a formally introduced item. Example, he went to a shop, it was closed. When shop should be mentioned for the second time, we use the pronoun it, and this it refers to the shop. What the producer assumes to be known by the recipient is described as presupposition. Speech acts. Pragmatics is also concerned with the functions of utterances such as promising, requesting, informing, which are referred to as speech acts. Do you drink tea? The functions here is functioning. The questioning. Can you close the window? This is not a question, but it is a polite request, and such a situation is described as an indirect speech act. Politeness. Politeness is defined as showing awareness of another person's self-image by adjusting own speech style. Every person's self-image is pragmatics is called phrase, and utterances presenting a threat to the interlocutor are called as face-threatening acts, while those which lessen the threats are called face-saving acts. It is assumed that the use of indirect questions is characteristics of face-saving acts. Now, the similarities between semantics and pragmatics. The fields of semantics and pragmatics are integrally related to one another. For example, we cannot use the pronoun he unless we know whom the person it is referring to. And the differences between semantics and pragmatics are: the theory of science by Morris clearly highlights the difference between these two branches. The semantic division refers to the study of the relation of words, whereas the pragmatic dimension refers to the study of relationship between words, the interlocutor, and the context. Another difference can be found in Grice's theory of implicature, which is pragmatics oriented. In this theory, Grice focused on the speaker's intention with a particular utterance because the speaker may wish to convey a different meaning than what the sentence itself means. For example, a person described as having a good personality may imply that he or she is not attractive, and thereby it is telling that their personality is more important than their looks. In addition to this theory, the two theories of location and illocation clarify the importance of and illustrate the difference between pragmatics and semantics. Locution refers to uttering a stretch of words that have been formed in a particular way to carry some degree of specific meaning, while illocation refers to the task that those utterances perform, such as demanding, asking, requesting. Another type of dissimilarity emerges with the principle of compositionality attributed to French. This principle entails figuring out the meaning of its constituent parts. For instance, a customer entering a coffee shop where the following conversation takes place. Customer: may I have English tea and a glass of water, please? Waiter: sure, right away, sir. Now, the waiter figures out the meaning of the sentence rather than trying to understand the speaker's intention. Another difference is conjunctions as so and but can only be studied with a pragmatic framework rather than semantic one. Finally, Leach stated that semantics can be placed in the grammar domain with a linguistic system or code, while pragmatics can be placed in the rhetoric domain where codes are implemented. Moreover, the former is a rule government, whereas the latter is principal government. Discourse. Definition of discourse is discourse can be defined in two ways. It is a unit of language above the level of the sentence. Language has multiple functions. Scope of discourse analysis is it is highly practicable and it is used in all areas of communication. Elements of discourse analysis, written and oral text. Discourse refers to both written text and oral text. Internet chat is a written form of speech. A university lecture is a spoken form of writing. Extra-linguistic and intra-linguistic context. Extra-linguistic deals with the external world and the intra-linguistic where that piece of language occurs. Cohesion and coherence. Discourse analysis includes all the three linguistic levels in a sentence such as sound, lexis and syntax. Discourse includes both grammar and coherence. John, can you lend me some money today? Peter, yes I can. Here the second sentence is linked to the first. Now, John, can you lend me some money today? Peter, there is a strike in the bank. Now, the second sentence is not linked to the first grammatically, but they are coherent. To create cohesion in sentences, some grammatical forms are used to like them, which are as follows. Local connectors and but, conjuncts also equally, furthermore, contrast instead, similarity for, thus, substitutes for noun he, she, they, one, ellipsis, exclusion or deletion of a part of the sentence, didactic, here, then, etc. Mode, tenor and domain. Categories of language use which affect language variation are mode, tenor and domain. The category of mode is related to the distinction between speech and writing. In speech, there are such features as explicitness, lack of clear sentence boundaries, simple structure, repetitiveness, normal non-fluency and informality. We might think of mode of discourse as a continuum from typical speech to typical writing. The continuum could be represented as below. Typical speech, conversation in a pub, telephone conversation, seminal person, letter, job, interview, radio discussion, lecture, sermon, television advertisement, typing, writing, newspaper. Tenor has to do with the relationship between a speaker and the addressee in a given situation. To illustrate this, if the relationship between the speaker and the addressee is distant and official, as in a legal document, the tenor will be formal. But if it is a close and intimate as a conversation between a husband and a wife, the tenor will be informal. Domain or field is where language varies according to the function it is fulfilling. If you have anything more to add on to what I've said, please write it in the comment box, like the video, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe and support. Thank you.